Learning about vegetables today on Euphoria. What is your favorite leafy green?
My name is Aida. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a Latina queer woman of color. I'm an immigrant in the Netherlands, and I really like string beans, green beans.
Good shout. Good shout. My name is Darcy. I use they, she pronouns. I'm white. I've been perfecting this. I am a white, femme-presenting, non-binary person. Um, I'm wearing my thin square glasses today. My hair is down, full of dry shampoo because it's been one of those kind of days. And I'm wearing my mothership shirt, which is the softest, most comfortable TTRPG Kickstarter extra I've ever worn in my life.
I
Highly
love it.
recommend.
I
Highly
love it.
recommend.
I didn't give my own self description. I'm out of the habit.
That's okay.
I am I have tan skin, dark eyes, dark hair that is shoulder length and wavy. I'm wearing a white T-shirt with an adorable llama on
Get
it
it away from me. Get it away from me.
because it's Latina Heritage Month.
Llamas and I don't get on, especially when you're wielding said llama.
They mate for life.
So do lots of creatures. They're not special. You're not special, llamas. Anyway, I like tender stem broccoli. You know when you like you
Yummy.
drizzle it with olive oil and like just salt and pepper and then grill it. Lush.
Oh, my mom was always like, "Look, these are baby trees. They're cute." And I was like, "Oh, how cute!"
That would not encourage my children to eat them. They would be like, "No, I won't eat the babies."
Oh,
Clearly, it didn't stop you. What
I
are
ate
we?
the babies.
What are we really here for, Ida? Leafy greens aside, what are we
Leafy greens
actually
are
doing?
so good. We are here to shout out and give some love to TTRPGs from European-based creatives.
Mm. Creatives here meaning writers, developers, publishers, illustrators, anybody we dang well please. Because it's time to give these people on our side of the pond, the European creatives, the platform that they deserve, which is a global platform. People here are just as talented as anywhere else in the world, and they're diverse and they're interesting, and you should check out their stories. So here's some of them.
Yay! I love it. Absolutely love it. That's what we're planning to do here at EUphoria. If you are following, please follow us if you haven't. Our previous streams, we are sharing, shouting, producing, encouraging, uplifting casts that are primarily, so far, exclusively based in Europe
Mhm.
or from the European community. We have had full POC cast,
Mm.
uh, every flavor of gender and of the rainbow and of accessibility based
Mhm.
in Europe has been on our stream. We want to tell their stories, we want to uplift them, and we want to take them to higher and higher heights. The
Mm.
projects you and I have, whoa.
We've got some really cool things on the books, but we're not going to talk about all of them just yet. We might drop a couple of spoilers at the end, maybe.
um, this is not our first time having a stream where we're shouting out amazing games from writers, designers, publishers, companies that are based in all across Europe, not even exclusively in English.
Mm.
We're starting to branch out as best we can, best to our understanding. That is a challenge, but we are going to do our best. We've done this before, and we're going to keep doing it. And if you have a game that you want shouted out and you are based anywhere in Europe, the whole whopping geographical, non
Mhm.
political delineation of what Europe is, give us a line, follow us, let us know, and let us love you.
Shall I kick us off?
Are we doing sort of lovey sort of things? What kind of things are we going to be doing overall, if I may ask?
Oh, you want to go there now? Okay, I was gonna keep the people hanging on. Um, what are we doing? What have we got lined up? Well, we could talk about this next month in the UK and Ireland. October is Black British History Month, British
Oh,
Black History Month. In fact, in Britain and Ireland, we just call it Black History Month. That's how that works. So we've got a couple of tables that are coming together quite nicely. Um, I'll just drop one of them because the other one's still a little bit in flux, so we don't want to tie ourselves to anything. But we can confirm because I made the overlay today. The incredible Mask Ren, Allegory of Death on Twitter, who I've had the absolute pleasure of been playing Tales from the Loop with, is going to play a solo journaling game because not only is it Black History Month, it's also Spoopy Month in October. Everything is immediately going to become Halloweens and pumpkins and ghosties and ghoulies. Ren is going to be playing a solo journaling game where they are going to be a haunted house. It's called Darling, You're a Haunted House. It's by Finn, who is, I believe, at Shrimp Fried Dice, I believe. Right? They make dice as well. And I got a business card at UKG and it says, "You better believe a shrimp fried these dice." It's incredible. But Finn is like a scholar of TTRPGs. I believe Finn is doing, I want to say like a master's or a PhD into some form of like actual academic study into solo journaling games and has written several. So that's just going to be delicious. A wonderful coming together of excellent things. Really looking forward to that.
That is badass. And you're absolutely right. I think today will be the last day here in the Netherlands, at least, of temperatures above 20. And it is officially spoopy season. I think this is the last tomato that my plant gave me today.
It's a good one, though. Look at that juicy bad boy.
They're good ones. Like the skin is split. It's like really like ready to go. So that's
nice.
the last one. We're done. And it is officially spoopy season.
I love it.
And you, friend, have a spoopy game. I might have spoopy game. Let's talk about spoopy games from European-based creatives.
Exactly, because people are always looking for spoopy games to play when spoopy season comes around. So I got a couple to wet your whistle, to get you in the mood. This first one, I get to reach across to the magical TTRPG set Shelf of Wonders. I own a lot of these ones, which is part of the reason that I picked them. This is Apparition by Stasis Games, who are based in Wales. It is a haunted house game, specifically about the ghosts, the spirits, the memories that haunt the house. The players are... Did you ever play Phasmophobia when it was all the rage?
No, I have backseat played it though.
Over your husband's shoulder, perhaps? Okay. Imagine you are ghost hunters, you're spiritualists, and you are aware of a house, a building that has rumors of hauntings. And so you go to the house. All the players are the people with your instruments, with your, you might be mediums, you might have a personal connection to the house. It's kind of all up to you. You go to the house and you explore it. And the GM, who... Shout out to Fiona Howitt, who loves when a GM gets an interesting and unique name in a game. In Apparition, the GM is the Psyche, which is one of the coolest ones I've heard. Basically gives prompts, asks questions, asks the players to describe the smell of the room, or a particular thing that is left lingering, or a sight out of the corner of their eye that they catch as they're exploring. And the players respond and create atmosphere and spoopiness. And all the while, the GM is quietly writing all of this down and is creating a spirit or a haunting that it directly reflects all the things that the players have said. So it's a collaborative... everyone is collaboratively building the story of this haunting without necessarily realizing it. And at the end, everything gets spooky and they come and attack you. And I have a child visiting me. Hello. Say hi quickly. Good girl. Go and head downstairs.
Okay.
Thank you. See you later. It's my daughter.
Adorable.
So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting a way of... I love collaborative world building games where everybody's input has an impact on the world and the actions that take place. I love that there was kind of a screen in front of that process in this game where the GM is getting to be extra sneaky and then suddenly unleashes all of these really terrifying things. Potentially some of the players' like worst fears, the worst, scariest things that they could think of, and the GM then goes, "Actually, it is all those things. Ha! Now it's chasing you, and you have to escape." Chant, who I spoke to, said that he's never seen it streamed, and it would work really well for a stream. So we don't have any current plans for October 31st. If anybody in the European area fancies playing that and putting a cast together, give us a call. Give us a call.
I happen to have plans doing something tangentially spoopy. So I can't be at that table. But if there is anyone in Europe who wants to run it, anyone in Europe who wants to play it particularly,
Absolutely.
Let us know.
Let us know.
And if you are from a member of a marginalized community,
Mm.
especially if you're POC and you're cool, you're pretty much guaranteed a seat. I mean, that's
If
how it
you're in our
works.
chat, you're cool. If you're watching this, you're probably cool. So, we know our demographics.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
That is all good. So, I hope to see that game played on our channel
Mm.
soon.
So yeah, that's Stasis Games. They're on Itch, and the game is Apparition. They make a bunch. I had to choose that one. They also have just released Do Not Adjust Your Set, which is a collection of system neutral, spooky, scary scenarios, which are all wonderful. Highly recommend go check out all of their games. They're great.
Lovely, lovely. Continuing the spoopy trend, I have something that is not for young children's eyes. It's a kind of more because it's like maybe for me kind of nightmare inducing.
Okay, good.
Um,
The
take a look
child
at
has
this.
gone.
Take a look at this art, and this is a
Ooh.
game called The Lantern by Blind Archivist, who is based in Spain. So this is also a game that is originated in Spanish, and the Spanish title is El Farol, which means the lantern. And it's creepy as fuck.
I can see that.
Creepy as fuck.
That's not a friendly guy.
And you are the protagonist on a lonely quest to find a loved one who has disappeared into a cursed forest. And of
Ooh.
course, in the forest, the night is eternal, vast, and evil dances in the shadows, taking the shape of strange creatures. This is absolutely this is a solo game and does have a co-op journaling element, co-op elements as well. It is a journaling game, and you get to sort of explore, strategize. There's even some sort of resource management, which I kind of really enjoy because that presses you to make decisions, presses you to be a bit strategic, and you get
Mm.
that sort of feeling of extra stress and
Mhm.
pressure, which for me as a planner is the best way to get me
Mhm.
scared, but like consent scared in
Yeah.
a game. Like if I have to say it, D&D games, they get good when it's crunchy and you're
Mhm.
out of spell slots.
Mhm.
That's when the game gets good, and that's
When
when
you
the
have to
good
get
RP
smart. Yeah.
really. So if you're taking things, if you're giving me things and taking them away from me, like Lantern is doing,
Mm.
especially when you're in this sort of situation, that's when the fear is going to ramp up because I will prepare for everything.
Mhm. Same.
But if you start taking away those tools from me,
Mhm.
fuck, and that is terror. That is terror I consent
That
to.
is anxiety. Yeah, no, that reminds me a lot of One Breath Left, which Fiona played for Summer of Sci-Fi last month. That's very resource management. The main resource being oxygen, which when you start running out of, you getting into trouble. That was really tense. That was really scary.
Here we go. You can be various sort of characters. You're either a wanderer or a blacksmith,
Mm.
a groundskeeper, apothecary as well. There are tables you can roll on to
Mm.
determine what sort of location you're at, what sort of things you're going to encounter. I love me a good rolling table.
Yeah.
You have actions. You need to survive this encounter in this horrible forest. And everything centered is the light that you have to save
Gotcha.
yourself, save your soul, save your life, and also save the person you're trying to find. You are here out of necessity.
Oh, I love that.
And then
Like,
something smiles back at you.
oh, that's creepy as hell. Oh, the forest has actions. Oh, so in the duo mode is one person the traveler and one person the forest?
They could be.
Ooh, I like that.
Look, and this art is fantastic, and the whole game is also deliverable in the form of pamphlets if you opt for the printouts.
Nice.
The kind of game you can really easily take to a convention or something and creep
Oh, yeah.
everyone the F out.
I love that.
So,
Twist
uh,
reality.
yeah, I am still fairly new to solo games, solo journaling games. Um, Typically, I love playing TTRPGs. I'm
Mm.
not usually big on GMing solely because the art of creating worlds and doing these nuanced details, that's not my fun. Some people I know is like, oh, I created a kingdom and then I created a political system and then I
Mhm.
created lineages and the houses and all their shields. That's not my fun.
Mhm.
But solo games that give me tables and sort of just take my hand and give me checklists on which to develop those worlds without me spending my brain energy to create them out of thin air.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that sort of experience where I can sort of have that without feeling the pressure of where I think my not so fun things for GMing is. And solo games really take me there, especially these kind of games.
Incredible. That
And
sounds great.
and also, what the hell is this face? What the fucking this game has no right to be this creepy.
They've put a lot of work. Like, that's a great cover. That tells you a lot about the game. I'm here for that.
This is The Lantern by Blind Archivist, a game from a creator based in Spain.
Wonderful. You can stop looking at it now.
You have something a bit more relaxing to my eyes, and I'm
I
going
do.
to
This is
poop it
not
over.
so spoopy. You can spoop it over. This is spoopy. This is Fight or Fright. This is less spoopy. This is a little bit more charming in the sort of fun area of Halloween. Fight or Fright by Alex M from Mix Up Pixels, who is a
Yay!
New Zealand native currently based in Austria. I think I've got that right based on my research. Um, yeah, you play as kids going trick or treating. What could be more adorable? This features like a really interesting shifting dice pool system. So kind of combining you have two stats form of games with the dice pool form of games. Your dice can shift into different stats depending on what you've done and what you've been successful at doing. Um, the description is that on Halloween night, the Great Witch's thrall turns decorations into possessed horrors, throwing the night into chaos. But your costumes, once plastic and false, become real and powerful. It's up to you to save the town and maybe earn some candy along the way. It is another one that Fiona would adore because you are not the game master, you are the master of candies.
Ah,
Adorable. I love the illustrations. I love the vibe. I love that, having kids now, I've never cared about Halloween. My birthday is right around Halloween. I've never really cared about it. My daughter loves Halloween. She is batshit for witches and pumpkins. Like, this is the kind of thing that she could get into playing. This is a 4 to 6 player game, including the MC Master of Candies. It's just nice. You choose a costume. You just get to decide who you're dressed up as, and you go around and try and defeat all the baddies and get as much candy as you can.
yay!
Lovely.
That
And
is
also, if you
sweet.
go to their itch.io, you can see that they've done an AP of it, so you can see it in play, which I always love when I'm learning a new game, is to see other people playing it.
That is indeed sweet.
Right?
I'm thinking of all my really homemade
Mm-hmm.
costumes when I was younger, because I grew up in the US, so we had Halloween.
Mm.
And if the costumes come to power, oh man.
what
Oh man.
what is the worst and scariest thing from your Halloween past that is going to chase you?
Well, it's not that they were worse, like bad, because I grew up in an immigrant household, so everything was homemade with
Hmm.
love.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I remember I just had like old sweaters with like ripped up sheets, and I was a mummy. I was a ghost for many
Amazing.
years, which was just like
Super
the
easy.
cartoon with the sheet and the tools in the center. It was that
Perfect.
cliche. I was a cat. That was easy many years.
Yes. Love that. My
Also
daughter wants to be a cat this year, but she wants to be a rainbow cat because that's what
perfect.
Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse is. And so that's what we must do.
The best costume I air quotes convinced my baby sister, who is now an adult, to be was a bottle of ketchup.
What did that look like? Did you make it? What?
We made it. It was one of those collapsible laundry basket, the cylinder ones.
Oh, that's so smart.
Hmm.
I love like a homemade but ingenious costume. I love that a lot.
I mean, if you're going to go out of your way to suggest something like ketchup bottle, you got to deliver.
Yeah, you got to know what you're talking about. You can't just throw down that gauntlet and then walk away. You got to see it through.
I appreciate that. So
I wonder what powers a ketchup bottle costume would have in Fight or Fright. What kind of awful things an evil ketchup bottle could do.
an evil ketchup bottle.
You know, when
What?
you open it and like you get the first squeeze and it's just like pink water? It's just that. That is the worst.
Like Spider-Man, instead of slinging web, slings ketchup?
Some people might be able to utilize that and put a good spin on it, though, so I don't think that's quite evil. Anyway, if you go and check out Mix Up Pickles, Pixels, Mix Up. Oh, let me try that again with my teeth in. Hang on. I'm getting old, guys. Go and check out Fight or Fright at mixuppixels.itch.io/fight or fright, and it's currently on sale. So if you are looking for something to play for Halloween, grab yourself a bargain. It's good fun.
Yay. What a cute game.
Right?
And nostalgic. And yes, big props to creators that do get to hype up their game and encourage people to play an AP on it and link that in their page so to inspire other people, because that is really great for our learning. It really ups accessibility. Big
For sure.
props. If you want that to be you, call us. More spooky games?
More. One more.
Okay, one more.
Well, if you've got more, then keep going.
Oh, well, I'll do my best. What
you got? Oh, that's creepy.
What do I have? I have
dang.
witches. Sorry, witch, not witches. Witch.
Witch.
There you go. Let me make this a little bigger. So it's a little. There we go. Witch. Fated Soul 2E. This is a game by. Pardon me. Let me get my notes up because there were so many games I was looking up things for.
It's a great process, isn't it? I look that I have to plan for this stream and I'm like, all right, let's find some games. It's really good fun to troll through like the socials and itch. Trying to find out where people are from. If people could put their country of origin in the location in Twitter instead of like magic inside your mind. Very funny. Very good. Where do you live, dude?
I really appreciate people also like don't want to do it for privacy reasons.
Sure.
And that's valid, but you can bury it somewhere.
Yeah.
Because anyway. This is Witch. Fated Souls 2nd E by Angry Hamster Publishing.
Okay, that's not as spooky as that game indicates.
The publishing game is called Angry Hamster, and they are based in the Netherlands.
Awesome.
So this came by a Kickstarter that succeeded earlier this year. The art is fantastic. It is a sort of modern dark fantasy game, and you're essentially a witch, and you sold your soul to a demon for power.
Uh-oh.
Makes sense.
I'm sure everything is fine. I'm sure that's a very chill, cozy game.
Your soul is probably forfeit. Your soul is forfeit.
Whoops.
Look, demons. But you could, if you're lucky, maybe connive and outwit your demon. And you might be able to have your cake and eat it too.
Ooh. That certainly sounds appealing, but not likely. I'm going to be honest. Not super likely. Ooh. Oh, dang.
So witches voluntarily make these pacts with demons for the power, for myriad of reasons, but it is always a consensual agreement, something you don't take lightly. But knowing the price, you really want to, of course, keep your soul and keep your powers. Maybe rope along the demon. Maybe convince the demon to actually be your partner instead of your soul keeper. Maybe get rid of the demon. Who knows?
But if you get rid of the demon, do you get rid of your own powers?
I mean, a lot of these witches signed up for powers specifically to help people. So there's some payoffs to be made. And these are all the things you journey through within this game. It's like a cat and mouse game of you, the witch, between you and the demon. because the
That's cool.
demon wants to keep you in their pocket
Mhm.
and has a lot of reasons to say, hey, what if I give you more?
Mm.
What if I press this button? What if I do this thing or thing over there? But now your soul is mine times two.
How does that work? I've only
I,
got one soul.
I
It's
don't know.
double mine.
I don't know. But basically, you're upping and upping and upping the
Mm.
stakes. And as a witch, you're not alone because you eventually, because you're a person with supernatural abilities now, you're going to meet other people who, for other varied reasons, are in similar situations.
Mhm.
And you have a society of souls. Look at this fucking art.
The art, like, every page has got some beautiful art on it. That is excellent. I
You're
like
in a
that as a
society.
concept. That's a different kind of dynamic. That's not just, "You're a witch, now go out and fuck shit up." That's
Mhm.
and now you're really in trouble. How are you gonna get out of it? I like that a lot.
As part of being a sort of modern fantasy game as well, I mentioned that there are other witches,
Mm.
and people don't exactly go around advertising, hey, I'm a witch, witchcraft is real, and demons are real. So there's going to be someone or some powerful individuals who are invested
Mm.
in keeping things quiet.
Oh, cool.
So you're kind of doing this all secretively as well.
Also, really love to see that the very first thing under mechanics is safety, and that looks like a really interesting way that they've codified safety tools.
It says the witch's word. The witch's word has 3 forms you can use in this game. If you're unable to use the forms, you can either speak the name of the form or agree on different physical form of the witch's words. So safety tools are not just audible or text-based, they are visual as well.
Mm.
When one person uses a form of the word, everyone else at the table responds by performing it as well to strengthen its power and then takes the
Ooh.
appropriate action detailed before. So if the chill, place your hands in front of your chest in a triangle with the point up. I am feeling uncomfortable, but we can continue playing. So people have to mirror that as
Whoa.
well.
So, like, so you've got a visual, like, check-in. You're checking in and people are acknowledging it. I love that. That creates such engagement whilst oh, wow. Okay, I love that.
The
That's my
passing.
favorite thing about this game. That's fantastic.
Place your hands in front of your chest in a triangle with the point down. I am feeling uncomfortable. Please wrap up what is happening and move on to the next scene. So if everyone has to mirror it, the GM can't miss it.
Yeah, everybody's doing it.
And you are reinforcing a language of safety,
Mhm.
ritualizing it. So it's
Yes,
also adding to the mood of the game.
that is phenomenal. I love that a lot.
Place 2 fists together in front of your chest. And hands continue playing. So that, I guess that's the X or
Xcode, yeah.
or the red light.
That is great.
This is
That's because that's something we always talk about at our session zeros is that you have to kind of not not in a coddling way, but people often feel sometimes you'll play a game and something will happen and in the cool down afterwards, people be like, yeah, I was actually really uncomfortable with that in the moment, but I didn't want to say anything. Because often people feel like they're breaking immersion or they're becoming a problem or people are going to be annoyed that they've stopped play. I love that that feels like it would go some way to minimizing that feeling for a player
Mhm.
where you're still, especially if you, and I assume and hope that you could build that around, if you're ever casting a spell in that game, you have to do some kind of somatic component that you're only reinforcing that mechanic. That is top tier design. I love that.
Well, well done, Angry Hamster Publishing.
Yeah. GG. GG.
This is Witch Faded Souls, second edition by Angry Hamster Publishing, a small group based in the Netherlands.
That's
And we
great.
might be seeing some of the people behind the game soon in our channel, TM.
Yes, please. That would be
Yeah,
great.
we actually might be, though.
Oh. Oh. You've been doing things behind the scenes. Oh, ho, ho.
Yes. You have some things behind the scenes
I
too, and your
do.
scene. I'm going to do a thinky thing.
Okay, do the thing. I'm done with spoopy games now. I thought two is enough. I had so many games this month, but one that has been on my list for a long time and has just leapt into like onto my timeline feed this week has been May You Fish in Interesting Times. This is a group game, 3 to 5 players and a GM. by W.H. Arthur. Sorry. This is May You Fish in Interesting Times by W.H. Arthur, who is a British, I believe, Chinese designer. Sorry, please correct me if I'm incorrect. The reason I've seen so much of it this week is that our friends at Science and Sorcery did a fantastic AP, a one-shot of it this week. And it was wonderful to see it come to life. You play as anthropomorphic birds on a fishing trip. That's it. Birds eat fish. They have to go catching fish. This time they are anthropomorphic. They've got their pants and their jackets and their waders and their wellies, and they're throwing a fishing line out into a river. And they might chat about, hey, remember that time that we staged a rebellion against the Empire and it failed? We're not supposed to talk about that.
Yeah, that might be burying the lead that they're not just anthropomorphic birds, but
do you think I do it?
That they're sort of retired former guerrilla freedom fighters
who are lucky to be alive because a lot of their leaders got executed or jailed. Yeah, okay, that's fair. That is a fairly important element of the game. Yeah.
And then you do the most introspective, self-connecting thing that one can do is fishing.
Fishing, yeah. Nice and quiet. You get to just get out there, be a bird.
And with other people.
Artwork throughout this is just so evocative and fantastic. The playbooks are actually different breeds of bird, which is really interesting to watch the Science and Sorcery people play it, because obviously they are science communicators. They were dropping bird knowledge left, right, and center. So you can play as a pelican, an osprey, a cormorant, a night heron, or a rebel fisher. Rebel fisher?
Rebel fisher.
Mm.
Rebel fisher. What a lovely game, and what a unique perspective it is.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I go wild for POC creatives, because oftentimes they do have another set of cultures and experiences and other histories that they can draw on, and their experience here in Europe, whether they're born here or immigrated, creates such a resonatingly beautiful story.
Yeah.
I love it. Art is fantastic.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And just the way that it's all, the history of the revolution is all woven throughout their backstories, and it's just fantastic. Highly recommend going to check out the game. You need playing cards, 6-sided dice. Like, it's fairly short. You can keep that wrapped up in a nice little one shot if you'd like. And yeah, definitely go and check out the Science Sorcery game, because it was a joy. They're always putting out fantastic content, and that was absolutely no different. It was wonderful.
Science and Sorcery are really good people. If you haven't checked out their channel, please do so. I love that their tables are always diverse. Their stories are always banger. I don't always get a chance to watch their streams because of I'm probably eating dinner or something, but it's like they're on lurk on my phone, on my tablet. I got to go do things, but I'm like, I have to be in all the machines giving them a view all the time.
That's what VODs are for. I got to lie in bed. I dropped everybody off at school and nursery and things today, and then I came back home and I made myself a coffee, and I got back into bed and I put that VOD on my laptop, and it was just the coziest morning. It was so exactly what I needed today. It was a great story. You could tell they were all having a fantastic time. And now I want to play it. I want to play it really badly.
Add it to the list.
It's a very long list.
It's a very, very long list. That shouldn't ever. I shouldn't ever say that like that's a bad or stressful or negative thing. But it's just a long list. More
what
like,
would you ever do if you got to the end of the list? If you were like, well, I've got no games to play now. Guess I'll choose another hobby and complete that one.
Considering all the charity bundles I've bought on Itch.io,
it would take a long time.
I wouldn't be able to eat or sleep. And only then, if I live an extraordinarily long life, could I maybe get through that. So, yeah.
It's not a problem that you're going to have to deal with, basically.
No. And then not just the Itch.io, but like bundles that I have, but everything else in the TTRPG drive on my computer.
How big is that drive? Go check mine.
Properties. 222 gigs.
Jeez. Holy shit, Ida. Wow.
When I'm able to download something, I download all of it. The black and white versions, the low res versions, the high res versions.
Because you never know when you're going to need it.
Never know. Never know.
That's wild.
Thank you for sharing this game again. I think we did briefly talk about it at one of our first streams, but we were also going a mile a minute there, so
Yeah.
this got a bit more spotlight. That I think is
and the fact that I got to watch the APA of it, it had been on my list, and then when things just go, no, this is the top of my list now. I need to play this. That is where May You Fish in Interesting Times has lodged itself. I very much hope that they are at Dragon Meet, so I can pick up a copy. I would love that very much.
And a selfie,
maybe.
WD software
in our EUphoria t-shirts.
I love it. Speaking of small cozy games you can get done, you can watch and play in one session.
Ooh.
I have a little game, a little itty bitty game.
A mini game?
It is a little itty bitty mini game called STRAVAGANTE.
Oh, that's a great title.
STRAVAGANTE is a game by Penflower Ink, who is an Italian creator, but based in the Netherlands.
I did not know that. That's what you get for doing your research, you see.
His itty was buried, and I went looking, and I found it. This is a tiny little pocket adventure that is currently on sale for 50 cents. It is a whimsical fantasy adventure. So it's kind of high fantasy, the sort of setting you imagine in typical sort of D&D games. So you have your elf knights, yes.
Sure.
But if you wanted a spell casting winged mermaid minstrel, you get that too.
I didn't know that I wanted that, but I do now.
It's this itty bitty foldable game has a lot of extras for all these little roll tables where you can make all sorts of spells, all sorts of adventure prompts, the complication roll table, the rewards roll table, the NPC roll table, location roll table, and it's all small.
Small.
All super small.
Mini. Oh, I love a pamphlet that folds.
It's also small.
Frog pirate. I love him.
You can have frog pirate. You can have kobold wizard.
Wow. Okay, that's adorable. I love that.
And I also appreciate that this game has been translated into other languages like Italian and Spanish as well. There have been additional crowdfunded goals. So these are things that its audience are really want to see expand. So they must have really deep pockets.
That's great. I love that.
I don't have deep pockets. I wish the pants I was wearing now have pockets. I'm wearing pajama pants, and
we wear women's clothing. We don't get pockets.
My husband's pajama pants have pockets, and mine don't.
If you're going to sleep, what do you need pockets for?
But his has pockets.
For what?
I don't know.
Beer?
What? For sleep snack.
Sleep snack is very important. Pockets for snacks. Oh, cool.
This adorable little
map generator.
Map generator.
I love a map generator.
Another thing you can just stick in your pocket, sit down at a convention or your friendly local gaming store and just go.
Hey, Penflower people, if you happen to be watching this, do you want to come play this on stream, like in Italian? Maybe this is our first foreign language stream. I would love that very much.
There's your winged mermaid minstrel, by the way.
She's beautiful. I love her. I want to be her. Incredible.
Or if since it's so small, if they're also at Dragon Meet, or if we ever come into the same place, just like selfie over the table. Look, we're playing this right now.
Let's do it.
I love it. It's super cute.
Do you think is it like made for one shots or mini arcs or longer campaigns?
I'd have to play it to find out. I guess I'll go spend the 50 cents.
I'm gonna go and spend the 50 cents. For 50 cents? Heck yeah.
For 50 cents. Normal price is $1. It's so accessible. Yes, there are free games, but considering the work that's going into it and the adorableness and the smallness of it, for the creator $1 if you have it.
Absolutely.
And that game is STRAVAGANTE
STRAVAGANTE. It's a beautiful name.
by
Excellent.
Penflower Ink.
Thank you for bringing that one to us, Ida.
Look how cute this
I'm gonna
is.
go buy it. I'm gonna go buy it right after stream.
Oh, that I was looking at what you have up, and I
Yeah.
didn't focus my eyes, and I thought that said floof. That does not say floof. I might
It
need
is not a
glasses.
floof game. It is not a floof game.
That's a different word. Tell me about this word.
This one. Okay, so this one again I get to reach because I just bought this. This is the Flood Bell Tolls in St. Magnus. I feel like we've been really focusing on some excellent artwork in our games today. This is no exception. I don't know how much of it I'll be able to show on screen. There is one of the pages, and that gives you a sort of impression of the level. Almost every page is like this. So this is actually a system agnostic setting. It's an adventure in a setting. The St. Magnus, the titular St. Magnus is a sort of not coastal, it's an island outpost. It is very sort of Bioshocky, but like steampunky Victoriana vibes, with a lot of like religious iconography. Quite a dark setting. Like the culmination is that the flood waters do in fact rise, and it's based on a class disparity is a huge theme,
Okay.
where the people on the mud flats down on water level are left to a life of poverty. In the middle of the settlement is this enormous tower, and the people who live in the tower are slightly better off. And then up at the rarefied top is where literally the upper classes of this place live in absolute decadence and luxury. And as the floodwaters rise, the people at the bottom are mostly left for dead, but they begin to like riot and try and make their way up to survive, taking over different elements, different areas of the town. And once they get to the top and they see just how differently the other people have been living, that incenses them all the more. And you can be residents, you could be visiting adventurers. It is absolutely full. It's a nice, decent sized zine. Lots and lots of content. Oh, and I got this absolutely beautiful little like illustration card that I'm using as a bookmark.
Lovely.
It's like
Gorgeous.
that is a cleric of St. Magnus, but he's got this like diving bell design. It's absolutely inspired. Excellent, excellent vibes. It's got all the different areas, breaks it down, who is there, who lives there, what hooks and rumors you can find. Incredible art throughout. Just beautiful.
Given the premise that you shared, my first question was that would be like a cool entry or first liner for introducing a campaign. Do the rich float?
Is that something that we need to find out?
I'd love to like try to answer that question.
There you go. There is the tower.
Wow. I hope they don't float.
I hope they do, and then we can throw rocks at them. But yeah, it's got a beautiful starter adventure at the end there. It's got all the dungeons, all the levels.
Gorgeous.
Immaculately illustrated. It's beautiful. I bought it on a whim. Shout out to Steph at Fistful of Crits who recommended this to me. Just a beautiful piece of art to own, even if I never get to play it, but I really, really want to play it. System agnostic, but it has a couple of its own like magic systems in there, a couple of spells that you can add in. It's great. I really like it.
Wonderful. And what was that game one more time?
This is The Flood Bell Tolls in St. Magnus. This is by siblings Sam and Will Tempest, who are based in Scotland.
Awesome. Badass Scottish representation.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Speaking of games that you, Darcy, you friend, want to play very much. Max.
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 Max. Yeah, I love Max.
We also really love Hatchling games.
We do.
And this is the latest game that is in development, and it's going to be first kickstarted and released officially. And this is Argonaut by Hatchling Games, based in the UK.
I'm so excited for this game. You've got no idea. The video drop. Did you see the video?
I it was lovely. We are taking stories from ancient Greece
Mm.
and ancient civilizations, but we're in space with spaceships and interplanetary transport and mechs and mechs, Darcy, and mechs
And Max.
and mechs, myth and mechs, myth and
love that.
mechs. Hatchling Games makes banging games. You might know them from Inspire Isles, which was one of the first games that they made that incorporates teaching and using sign language within the game, in a high fantasy game as well.
Never heard of it.
Was retweeted a few times by the Critical Role folks, but stands on its own, being a fantastic game that is really educative and brings communities together. You may also know them from Darcy and I have played Cryptid Creeks with another banger cast as well.
That was a good time.
That was a lovely time. And Argonauts has these touchstones, Cowboy Bebop, Gundam, and basically they're going to be using the same system from Deathmatch Island and Argon, which are games that you might recognize from some Evil Hat games. And it's the focus is going to be cinematic storytelling. And I am really excited to learn more about this game. Look at this goddamn mech. Look at this goddamn plasma sword. Look at this goddamn bulky shield. It's giving me all the tank dreams that I want to have. Look at these wonderful, cool ass cyborg people. I am really
Artwork.
excited.
Look
Look
at
at the representative characters that are in the story. That's
Hatchling
just
always do that. That is not an afterthought. That is just baked into what they do.
look at these hot people.
So they're the benefactors, and each one of those is based on a Greek god. 10 out of 10 points if you can pick them up. They are really, really so a good friend of ours, Kat the Law Mistress, worked on this with Rich. The interpretations of those gods that they've put together are just stunning.
Max.
Max.
Wait, hold on. Notify me at launch. Yes, I'll do that later.
Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't seen the release video for that, please go and check it out, because not only is it based on the Greek myths, it's tied in with this 80s. Like, if you ever watched what is the one? It's like called Odyssey 31 or something, and it's like Thundercats but in space. You know, that kind of old school like 80s anime style with like the really incredible synth music. It's all of those inspirations pulled together into one. The video is beautiful. The video is done by, again, a good friend of ours, Dungeon Delves. That's beautifully put together. Go and check that out.
Banger local team with amazing talent. You know you're going to get a great product. You know you're going to have a great gaming experience. You know you're going to feel seen and represented, and you know you're going to go pew 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 pew.
Pew 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 pew.
Argonaut by Hatchling Games, based in the UK.
Go and check it out.
Pew, pew.
How are we doing for time? We're coming up on an hour. Should we do one more each?
Do I have a good one to follow up on? I think. No, I'll say the last one then.
Okay. I'll do one, you do that one, and then I'll end with another one.
Okay.
Sound good?
So but you're going to finish this off, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. Go.
Do it. Okay. I had never heard of this game before this week, but in doing some research for this stream, I discovered Why We Fight by Stop, Drop, and Roll. A solo plus, which is an interesting descriptor. I'm going to take that to mean that it is solo based, but you can introduce extra players as well. You play as eco punks fighting fascism. Done. Sold. I'm invested. I'm invested, right? That premise, together with some of this art and some of the things that it talks about being like really important premises, it's not just about survival, it's about rebuilding and working together. And it just speaks to me, like all of the things that I love to see in games. You're part of a community alliance, a collective of driven idealists banding together to create a stateless, hierarchy-free society safe from many forms of oppression. Talk to me. Talk to me in my language.
Aho, aho.
Beautiful artwork. Again, inclusive characters, diverse people, representation matters, people. I'm so enthralled by it. And I'm not usually something that I discovered recently is I don't actually really love solo games. I really enjoy the collaborative element of TTRPGs too much to be like, and I should do it all by myself and I should do it better. No, I want to bounce ideas off of people.
Valid.
But maybe, especially if I can maybe do this with somebody else. Fast-paced narrative survival system, rules like combat, simple but expansive community building system. You've got me. Fast setup and play. Just bonds between characters. Everything that I love. Incredible. This is coming to Kickstarter soon. But there is a playtest kit that you can download right now. I'm going to give this a go over the weekend. I will report back.
Lovely. I really appreciate the flexibility that a lot more creators are given. I recognize that in order to make your project, I hate this word, profitable, but also marketable and more attention grabbing, you have to do more and more and more and more. And a lot of that time is the games should also nowadays include a solo playing variant. But even the solo playing games are now offering co-op variants. I appreciate that it is extra work, extra time. But that being said, thank you so much for the options. Thank you so much for spending that extra time. That is ultimately why we are excited. Darcy and I are clearly very different kinds of players with very different types of niches and hobbies. But the fact that we're like, yeah, this extra little thing, they made an effort. I'm going to make an effort and meet them halfway and play that is really appreciated.
Hell yeah.
That's so hot.
Right? Fighting fascism. So hot right now. You can clip that. You can quote me.
Okay. I've done the time. Okay. I thought you were going to do a different game because I had...
Oh, I'm going to do that one next.
Is it the one I have already on my screen you're going to do next?
Nope. I'm going to do the ones on my screen. Oh, which you've got up on stream.
No, you changed it. It's still there. That's why.
Never
mind. Yoink. There we go. I'm gonna sneak in. I'm gonna sneak in the game.
You go do that one.
I'm gonna sneak in the game because this is a creator that actually reached out to us a while ago, and we were like, oh, "Look at this game!" This is a game called Rush of Blood by Julia Kartes, who is a Polish person but based in France. Rush of Blood is another solo journaling TTRPG, and in this game, you play a vampire's favorite blood source. And you talk about that relationship you have with the vampire who looks at you thirsty. As literally or as figurative as you take that.
Incredible.
Create your character, create her lady vampire. So the game is already is going to be a hot mistress you're going to have, and the relationship you have with this vampire, and you're going to use tarot cards to follow prompts and guide you through dramatic events between your character and your thirsty lady, and how you push each other to those limits. You can try to control your own life or control her life, but at the same time, you're still getting fed from. And one of the things we gushed about this was one, hard foundation safety tools. Love to see it.
Yes.
This is a standard for Darcy and myself. It's not the standard for every game, but friends, guys, gals, non-binary pals, let this be a standard for you. Safety tools. Look at his art.
Even if you just reference the X card, even if you just reference the safety toolkit, that's something. You don't have to codify and come up with 3 whole new magical spells to cast at your table, but if you do, that would be really cool.
Especially when the premise is, you can really easily see how me being the walking blood bag for a vampire is a very unbalanced relationship.
Mm,
And someone delving into that might not be in a good mental space or might have experiences being in this unbalanced relationship where it caused danger.
mm.
And that is something not to be taken lightly. So we can really appreciate how such a particular subject matter really is bundled with care and nuance. And that's where we can explore something in a storytelling sense, sinister, dark, beautiful, passionate, manipulative. But are you in control? Do you want to be in control? And the art does a great job of reflecting these sort of conflicting emotions as
Yeah.
well.
And it's worth pointing out, I believe I'm right in saying this, all of this was by Julia. She wrote and illustrated it herself.
Look at this hot lady. Yes, yeah.
Beautiful.
Here, here.
Yeah, right?
Take it now. I love it. This is a game that I'm going to definitely spend some time on. Look at this art. It's not safe
Beautiful.
for work. Sorry, I don't care. Look at this
Okay.
gorgeous, gorgeous art.
A lot of love and time has gone into this game. And again, like you say that she reached out to us and was like, "Would you mind looking at my game?" And we were like, "Mm-hmm, sure, yeah." What?
Are you looking, internet? I am looking at this
I'm
game.
looking respectfully.
I I think I might have to just stream this on Euphoria for myself.
So much of this would make beautiful prints. I love it.
I love it. Julia, thank you for reaching out to us.
Yes.
Thank you for creating this. Thank you for all the love and effort that you put into this game. We see you. This is why one of the reasons why we started this community was to get to know people like
Yeah.
this, get to know games like this, get to know artistry and hard work
Mhm.
like this. And
But
this is
also the
fantastic.
love and the joy. Like I'm pretty sure in Julia's email she said she wrote this as sort of a love letter to her partner, her
Mhm.
wife. They met playing a vampire game. It's just right. It's it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. We love to see it. We love to see queer joy. We love to see vampire joy. It's excellent.
Thank you so much. That is Julia Kartes, A Rush of Blood, Love to the Last Drop, a solo journaling TTRPG game.
I wish I could see somebody play that. I wish I could see somebody show me what that game is like to be played.
Take a look. I take a look. We'll see. We'll see. Because
Are
it's
we
the
not
hardest
announcing
part.
it?
The hardest part about the solo games is the timing. Because I forget, and I could play this for 4 hours, but that
Mm.
might not be a good stream.
Well, we'll have to find out because Fiona has played it and recorded it, and it's going to be on our channel at the end of the month. I was like, I know. Have you forgotten?
I was trying to like really like what? It's amazing.
Yeah, you can see that on Euphoria on I'm gonna say the 28th of September, and then I'm gonna check and correct myself. 29th. I was really close.
Soon,
Soon,
soon.
very soon. Fiona has got to grips with this and played it. She says content warnings beware. There's a
Oh,
lot going on.
it's
So do check those content
gorgeous.
warnings before you watch. But if that sounds like your vibe, go and check it out and see how it plays.
So, because someone shared this game, we're going to actually be playing with it. And that is sort of similar to the next game you're going to talk about, Darcy.
Yes, it is. So
Oh,
the next game is called a dungeon game.
a dungeon game?
It does exactly what it says on the tin. Do you miss trolling through dungeons? Do you want a nice rules light OSR style game to just go through a dungeon and beat up some monsters?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you do, right? And you don't need anything extraneous. You just need to cut to the chase. Chris Bisette has got you. Chris Bisette is a Manchester-based designer. You know them from Wretched and Alone. The Wretched and Alone system, which began with The Wretched, and many, many other things. Chris Bisette is one of those people that I've always looked up to in the scene, like, oh, they're a proper designer. And now to be working sort of on the same level where I can walked up to them and introduced myself at UKG and felt like a peer. Wild. But yeah, Chris Bisette's A Dungeon Game is rules light. It's fucking free. You can go and download it and name your own price, or you can go to the website where everything is there, constantly being updated, and it is free. Wild.
I mean, we're talking about dollar games and 50-cent games, but free is pretty damn good.
Free is my favorite price for sure. I was lucky enough to be able to pick up a little printed copy just because it's really cute. I love the dragon. But it has been updated. This is already obsolete. It is constantly being updated and improved based on play reports. You can see that you can actually submit your play reports here, which I always love because it's really great to see things in action, which is why we do APs. But sometimes you don't want to watch a video. You just want to scan through a written report. There are supplements. There are third-party releases. Remember that for the future. Something that I really love about it is the way it handles magic, which in this game is called rituals. It's very, very simple. It's very aware. This is as close to a system agnostic system as you can get, if that makes sense. It's very aware of the existence of many other games that kind of are doing the same thing. And there's a page in the book called Casting Spells from Other Games.
Oh.
If the spell doesn't exist, there are rules for how you can kind of put yourself under extra stress to cast Utterluke's Resilient Sphere, to cast Fireball. Any spell from any other game, you can just say, I want to do the effects of that spell and do it. I love the flexibility of that. I love that there's not meant to be a GM here going, no, you can't do that because there's a colon there, and that means that that's separate from that. You have to do it exactly as written. It's flexible. It's focused on doing things that are fun and cool. Doing things. You roll dice. You can do a violence. You can do an exertion. You can rest. You can die. It's very meticulous, but not overwrought, if that makes sense.
That's really cool, especially when a lot of
Right.
default game for people is going to be the Wizards game, the Dungeons and the
The
Dragons.
dungeon game, yeah.
And a lot of people nowadays, even on the Reddit forums I am on, the subreddits, are like, I don't want to play D&D, but I like this. I like this thing in D&D, but can I do it different?
Yes.
And this question gets asked a lot. And when I was looking through this game, because of reasons, the answer to that is a game like a dungeon game, where you kind of want to hit the same beats.
Yes.
You have this nostalgic thing. You have this one element spell mechanic you can sort of borrow. You can make it fit. And maybe that's a stepping stone into leaving the Wizards game and going into other spaces.
Maybe.
Or staying in the dungeon because it's a good game.
Yeah, but knowing what it is that you like about the dungeon game and then seeing from other games what you could change, how you could tweak it, how you could make it better suited to the story that you want to tell. Always encourage people to, even if you stick with D&D, if it's the one game you want to play, just try some others because you might learn things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lovely game. I love like that you can see all the inspirations that Chris has had. Level 0 characters. There are funnels, there are adventures, there are people who live in the dungeons, there are all these classic monsters. You gotta love a black pudding. Who doesn't love a black pudding?
It's on the bingo card of all basic TTRPG encounters, up
Right.
with meeting at a bar and traversing through the sewers.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's got everything you want from a classic OSR style game. But sometimes you want to bring it into a slightly different setting. And we mentioned this on a different stream. We mentioned Calpini. Calpini is a module that our good friend Steph from Fistful of Crits has written for a dungeon game. And guess what? She's going to run it for us. She's going to be running a 2-shot in October, recording in October. The casting call is open right now. You can go to our socials, which will be in the chat.
They're all below here too.
Socials. They're there somewhere. I'll find them. And you can go and find the casting application and you can fill it in and you can come and play with us. And we would love it if you would do so. It's an open casting call. It's our first one. This is Steph's first streamed gig as a GM. She's going to do phenomenal. She's such a great GM. She's wonderful. You're very, very lucky if you get a place at this table because it's going to be something really special.
I'm looking forward to seeing that cast. And just to say it out loud and very loudly, We are prioritizing casting for people who come from marginalized communities,
Mhm.
specifically those based in Europe as well. Yes, everyone is welcome at this table, but we are actively prioritizing if you are LGBTQ,
Mhm.
if you identify as a neurodivergent, disabled, a
Mhm.
marginalized gender like women or femme or non-binary, you are going to be prioritized. If you're a person of color, you're pretty much in.
At the top of the
You're
list.
at the top of the list. So that's the universe. Hi, I'm the universe telling you, apply.
Apply.
I might not get in. What if they don't want? I think
We
I want
do.
you. So apply, please.
Thanks.
It won't be your last time either. Having open casting calls as well.
Yep.
We're already planning for those too.
Maybe. In fact, let me see
Maybe.
if I can find it real quick and drop the link in chat, and then we'll attach it to all the VODs. Copy link. Don't get banned from my own channel. Can I even drop links? I can. There's the link. Go and
There.
check it out. And come play with us.
Come play with us. We did say this was gonna be the last game. I'm gonna sneak in one more.
So cheeky. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Because I kind of had to because it's spoopy season, and
Yeah.
the thing that scares me more than haunted forests, more than my preparations getting used up or going to waste, is capitalism.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
Honestly, the idea of going back to an office job, I have nightmares.
The last office job I had, towards the end, I remember every morning being nauseous and getting sick and wasting so much money on pregnancy tests. I wasn't pregnant. I just hated going to that job so much. As soon as I woke up,
Oh
I just got sick.
god.
My body was like, "Stop this, Aida."
No.
If you want to
If you
go,
do want to feel like that.
if you felt like that, but you want to maybe have the capacity to fight it and burn it down or expose it for what it really is,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to check out this amazing game called CORP by Paweł Kicman. Apology if I'm mispronouncing your name, who is a Polish-based designer. And this is a hack of Morkborg, which is developed and published by Free League Publishing, which is based in Sweden. Morkborg is that infamously deadly game, which is rules light, but has very Mad Max kind of vibes where things are wild, loose, violent, heavy, and consequential. Immediately so.
Mm-hmm.
It's not where how to put it this way. You know when you take your level 1 wizard in the D&D game and there's a kobold and your wizard might actually die?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like that all the
Mm-hmm.
time in Morkborg
Mm-hmm.
and or Corpborg and or Pirate Borg or all the other hacks there are. But Corpborg is where you take this sort of office capitalist corporate job and every single awful trope based in this nightmarish reality, but the corporate overlords are actually demons, and every bit of suffering you're going through is to summon demons, because what else are they doing with all the pain they are manifesting there?
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly summoning demons and they're clearly sacrificing you, and it's up to you within this game to survive that encounter or fight back or die or be sacrificed.
Oof.
You can start off as a salesman, an engineer, a designer. You can fight back with with a coffee mug, a keyboard, a stapler. Maybe a safe zone is the literal water cooler. D66 urgent emails counting down to the
Wow.
timeline in very Morkborg fashion, which is this really cool, rough Mad Max punk vibes. So is Corpborg, but corporate hell style. Look at the board of directors. My fucking board
Oh
of
my
directors from the last
god.
shop looked exactly like that. Ugh.
I appreciate how much effort has been put into making the art style as similar to the Morkborg art style as possible. That is very, very good.
It is horrible in this fantastic way
Mm-hmm.
that I cannot fathom. I had the joy of producing a one shot of Corkborg played GN'd by Maddie Searle
Ah,
last year or this year? This year.
this
This year it
year
was.
for women in gaming.
Yeah, if a women
Yeah.
giving month on Board of Tales. And within the first 30 minutes after the first ritual, someone just died. And the person playing, wonderful person, was just like,
Whoops.
oh, I think the first encounter, they were on a corporate retreat at a
That sounds
hotel, at a
right.
spa, and they were doing a guided yoga session. Because what a great way to break ice with your managers by being in a forced yoga session together with them.
What could go wrong?
Oh, oof, oof. I'm getting my own corporate hellscape flashbacks.
Little flashbacks.
Flashbacks. If you want to harness that energy and try and fight back, pull back the hellish robes of this evil conglomerate cabal, then check out Corpborg by Paweł Kicman, who is a Polish-based designer and who I believe also currently has another game recently out. Oh no, just ended. Hellpower, Superpower TTRPG Apocalypse. Paweł's
Ooh.
style is very much this sort of apocalyptic, rough Mad Max kind of thing. I love seeing about it. I recently saw this and I am also interested. Paweł does a lot of other great games. I
Ooh.
want to learn more about Eastern European TTRPG creatives as well. That's a region we haven't delved into yet. We're getting there. Tell us more if you're from there. Hi.
Yeah, if you want to come and run an apocalypse superhero game that you've written and kickstarted, if you want to get that on the air, then come talk to us.
Wow, the vibes. Inspiration, The
The
Boys. The
Boys,
Boys
yeah,
steroids.
that comes through for sure.
If you're unfamiliar with The Boys, it's this comic book series where the superheroes, they are super, but they are not heroic. They are bad and they are a reflection of the corporation that backs them, builds them, and they might be the real bad people, and the humans are just as flawed in taking them down. But it is violent. It is gory.
Yeah,
It
it
is
looks like this is
in your
very much the same vibe. Max, is that a mech? I'm
the monster
interested.
mech. It's a monster mech.
I'm interested.
Yeah, we are interested as hell in everything that our friends all across Europe have.
Yeah.
Transition us. Oh, that was a nice journey.
We did a lot this week.
Yeah, we did a lot. We're
And
going
even
to post a thread about all the creators we have. We should also be posting in other places good, concise list of links about the games we're talking about.
yes.
And right now, we're going to talk about where that sort of information will be found soon and in the future.
Very
Take it
soon.
away. What am I talking about?
I'm assuming I'm getting the signals that you're putting down. You're talking about our Discord, which
Finally.
has been around for a long ass time. It's where we meet and talk and plan things. It's where all of our casts and crew are. And very, very soon. How soon, Ida? Very soon? Imminently?
Are you gonna? We should make the announcement for the people in there to not spook them. But
That's true.
mhm.
Maybe let's get through the weekend, and then when we're able to sit down and moderate the massive influx of people who are going to come and join, because it can be you. We're going to open it up to the public.
Yay!
We've got all our rules in place. We've got our moderation hats on, and we're ready to open the doors and welcome you all in. So the European TTRPG community can gather and chat and find games to play with one another, find groups to play those games. You will get to see our announcements first. You will get to see our casting calls, our casting announcements, announcements of new projects. All that good jazz will all drop there first. Social media is a hellscape. It's difficult to keep up with people at the minute. That will be the centralized way to keep up with everything that we're doing. And we hereby solemnly promise we will not drop at everyone 7 times a day, because nothing's more irritating. We know. There will be roles that you can opt into to get pings for the things that you're interested in being pinged about. and we will use @everyone very, very sparingly. But all the information will be there. We will be there. You can chat to us.
Yay!
What more do you want, people? So keep an
I
eye out for that. We'll announce it on the socials when it's open and ready to go.
We will hand out links.
Mhm.
Like Darcy said, rules are up, moderation hats are on. This is
Mhm.
something we took seriously. We wanted to ensure that if people have questions, if there's issues arising, we have the words, the tools to answer them from a place of respect, from a place of nuance that also keeps in mind our boundaries,
Mm.
because Darcy and I can only be mommy to so much of the world at one time, to our
Yeah.
projects and to other people. We also want to keep a safe space for people who are already there, people who we're
Yeah.
actively working with. Anyone is invited to our Discord, to our community. I want to emphasize, though, this is the idea, how I'm seeing it at least, is to really crystallize a space that unabashedly says, but we are going to highlight people who are based in Europe. And we're not going to
Mhm.
shy away from that. There's a lot of other
Yep.
communities that are also from people who are European based, but they
Mhm.
don't seem to make that part of their core identity, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I want to make that part of the identity.
Yeah. For sure.
Everyone is welcome there. We aim to be, we strive to be, we're hoping we've met the metrics, the bars for being a queer friendly, queer safe space. People of all intersectionalities of marginalized communities are there. I'm going to be running an exclusive POC in Europe space that is closed and private.
Mhm.
Because, for example, trying to find Latin people in Europe has been a struggle bus, and
Mhm.
it's felt a little lonely. And not just Latin, but I'm sure people of other non-white ethnicities maybe have felt this way. Let's feel this way together and support ourselves and not have to feel that way in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's a different thing to be based in Europe when you're also a demographic minority. So we're going to have dedicated space for that as well, which is why I really want to hammer the point home. Everyone is welcome, but we're here to uplift this segment of the population.
Yeah.
This is where the
And
shine is going to be. Come and support.
yes, I was gonna say. I think
Mhm.
if you're watching from the US or like North America, you are welcome, but try and be aware of when your voice is needed and what the purpose of the server is. We're not here to talk about you. Sorry. If you want to come and talk about other people, absolutely. Get in here. Get your cheerleading pom-poms and get in here.
You're super excited about that. Other projects we have on, if you want to shake your pom-poms, and your pom-poms might have
Dollars.
dollar bills on them,
Mm-hmm.
frankly, pounds or euros or other zenny coins on them. We're
Mm.
also working hard on our Patreon.
Mhm.
It is up. It's a little sparse, but we have quite an action plan coming in there. What Darcy and I are doing is all a labor of love.
Mhm.
We recognize that this is not going to be the sort of bill paying career, but beyond just spending our time, we are also spending money, and we are spending other people's times.
Yeah.
And we feel that those people, especially, should be given compensation of the financial kind, not just the "you're wonderful, thank you so much" compensation.
Mhm.
Being able to maintain a Patreon and some sort of flow would help us make our talent time worth it. Even if it's like, thank you so much, the pockets are kind of thin, but you know what? Here's a £10 gift certificate, or here's a £10 PayPal just as a thanks. We
Yeah.
know it's not commensurate to what the work you've put into, but it's a
Yeah.
start. One day it will be commensurate to the
Mhm.
talent and to whatever industry minimum wages are and more.
Mhm.
But we're starting.
We're starting. But we're relying on people like you. So come help us out. Come help everybody out, because we're not here to do like, of all the cash that we get, it's not lining Ida or mine pocket. It's just not. That's not how this is gonna go.
I don't have pockets.
We had this conversation. We don't have
I
pockets because we
don't
wear
have
women's clothes.
pockets. I don't have pockets.
I actually think I do have pockets in these pants. I'm wearing bright pink pants, which is not me. but they've got pockets in them, so maybe I'll wear them more often.
God, that's awesome. Other ways you can help. If you are watching us on Twitch, thank you very much. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. Particularly if you're on Twitch and you're following us, thank you. If you have the means, can you give us a subscribe? If you have a Prime subscription through Amazon and you're not using it, you get 1 free sub a month. You can pop it our way. You're not paying anything extra. Just Bezos going to send some of his pesos our way.
Pesos.
It's Latin Heritage Month. He's got pesos.
Happy Latin Heritage Month.
Do it for me because it's Latin Heritage Month and I'm Latin. Do it for me. Thank you. Engaging with us on all our socials. Yep. We're trying to be on the Instagram. We're trying to be on the Blue Sky. I don't know why I can't follow anyone back on the TikTok. I am so sorry. I'm not being antisocial, but the thing is, I cannot follow anyone.
It's
on the talks.
Maybe they'll fix it one day.
I sent in a ticket. Engage with us in the places where you can, and Aida, I'm not doing it for claps or an applause, but it makes me really happy when the people I'm helping support, like the amazing role players, writers, GMs that come to the channel that I'm producing for, when they get the applause, that makes me really happy.
Yeah, we're the stage managers, and we just shove the actors out onto stage and say go, and then stand behind the curtain with a clipboard. That's what we like to do.
I'm glad we found each other because we're really good at that.
For real. All right, who are you and where can people find you in particular?
Me in particular? Oh,
you
dear.
in particular.
I'm Aida. You can find me on the socials that I am really bad about updating.
And when you do, it's mostly about crows.
It's about crows. It's about the cats that are visiting my garden. Other than that, you might find me in some upcoming games. Details haven't been dropped soon. You might find me in some upcoming cons. We're going to do our best to be at Dragon Meets. We are making plans. So hope to see you there soon. And you can catch me doing all the amazing things at EUphoria with my wonderful friend who is...
You've got lovely friends? Oh, me. It's me, JC Darcy. I'm a writer, GM, performer, producer. You can find me mostly on Twitter. I'm trying to get better at Blue Sky. Don't do Instagram. I'm not going to do Instagram. I don't know why I'm even pretending. Yeah, you can find me here doing things. I'm not playing anything on stream anytime soon, but if you are in the UK or the London area and you are free on October 11th, get yourself to the Archivist Tavern in Shoreditch. I will be there dressed up. I haven't got a costume yet. Running Paint the Town Red. Amidst an incredible... I don't know how I'm on the lineup with the people. It hasn't been announced officially, but just like 3 viewers right now, so I'm just going to say it. It's myself, Edward Spence, Draconics, and Maddie Searle. And Zach of Soul Muppet running Paint the Town Red in the Archivist Tavern, which is just looks like the most amazing venue.
What they should be lucky to be in a cast with you. What the hell?
Come along, get a Bloody Mary, and yeah, come and play Sad Vampire Boys with me.
And if you haven't already, come follow us at EUphoria on all the socials. Thank you for everyone who was watching. Thank you for people who were at the beginning, at the end, in the middle. Thank you to all the lurkers. Thank you for engaging with us and showing us that there are people here willing to stand and support their local homegrown creatives here in Europe for amazing TTRPGs. That's what we're all about.
Yep. Come join us.
Come and join us. There are cookies.
Oh,
are there
cookies? I may have eaten all the cookies.
I got tomato.
I got illustration. I got nothing.
Okay.
Sorry. We'll make more cookies.
This is the last tomato. I can't promise anymore. That we're going to go off because we're going to go on a tomato tangent. Thank you, everyone, so much. And we'll see you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.